Hello and welcome back. I'm Sadaf, and in today's video I will be continuing the book series with the book called Becoming Bulletproof by A.V. Pompuras. So the author of this book was actually a secret service agent for different presidents, and she has been into many difficult situations where she has had to use her mental strength along with her physical strength, and in this book she gives all the tips and every single thing to actually learn to navigate in different situations. So personally I have listened to this book over and over again on Audible because I find her voice to be extremely uplifting, and she shares so many tips and tricks that you can use in your daily life to read people, to build your own mental strength, and at the same time to just motivate yourself. And all of this together, it really has strengthened me and given me a lot of hope. And I came to know about her and her book through the show called Women of Impact that I used to watch on YouTube, and I absolutely love it. I've not had the opportunity of watching it recently because I'm into many other things, but I have always loved watching that show because it helps you get to know so many different women who are inspiring and empowering, and you learn about them, you learn about their stories, and of course then you get to know about their books and other work that they have done, which is always extremely inspiring. So anyway, in this video I will be giving you 5 key insights that I have personally prepared for this video, but even apart from these insights, there is so much information about this book that I would highly recommend that you listen to it. So my 5 insights are related to fear, rigidity, risk-taking, mental armor, and freedom. So these are the 5 aspects that I will be going through, and at the same time I will be reading a small excerpt from the book for each one of these categories or each one of these points. So let's get started. And just before we get started, if you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. I'm Sadaf, and I make videos to inspire and empower women to live their best lives and to become mentally strong and confident. So subscribe to my channel and let's get started. So let's start with fear, and here she says it's the things we don't do that tend to haunt us long term, such as choosing not to take a new job, not to pursue a relationship, not to stand up for ourselves, or not to push beyond our comfort zones. We tend to remember the things in life we had the chance to do but didn't, an opportunity lost, a promise unfulfilled. Fear is like a fire. If you extinguish it while it's small, it won't become an inferno. And every single thing that she says about fear is something that I can totally resonate with, because we have always been taught fear for our entire lives, and as women actually a lot more. You have to be afraid of going out, you have to be afraid of doing this and every single thing that you do in your life, and it is never encouraged to actually trust yourself and build maybe your own skills and your own capabilities, but at the same time to expose yourself to small doses of fear. But what she says in this book is like mostly the things that you are going to end up regretting later on in your life are not the things that you would have done, but instead every single thing that you didn't do. And maybe you didn't do that out of fear, but the discomfort that this fear would have caused is a lot smaller compared to the regret that will come later on by not doing this thing. Overall, whether it is like changing careers, whether it is contacting a certain person for a certain reason, like I have gotten into the habit of contacting people directly, whether it is to build a professional network, whether it is to build a personal network, to just go towards people. These are little things that you do, and they make you, maybe in the moment you do feel some kind of discomfort, but in the long run it is something that you did and you did not stop yourself, and that fear that stops us is something that you are actually overcoming by doing little things like that. So ask yourself today, what are the things that you would like to do and you are simply not doing them because you are afraid of something, because at the end of the day these are the things that you are going to regret the most. The second point I wanted to discuss is rigidity, and rigidity in terms of your character, the person that you are. And here she says that rigid people are the most dangerous people because they don't know how to adapt. They become tethered to the one narrative they have created in their minds. They become unable to pivot, so when life delivers a blow, it's almost impossible for them to recover. So even though related to this I can think about other people that I find to be extremely rigid, at the same time I cannot forget about my own self and the way that I have been for a very long time in my life. The kind of beliefs that we build during childhood and then afterwards also in our teenage, and then due to our experience experiences, we don't have the habit of always questioning our limiting beliefs. And this is something that I'm getting into now, and I'm making the effort of constantly trying to question my beliefs and then reframing them and giving them another perspective and another meaning. And I find that it is extremely important for us in order to understand ourselves better and actually improve ourselves and to understand other people as well, to connect better with others. It's very important for us not to be rigid. Whatever you have learned from childhood up until now, it is all questionable, and you will always find other perspectives that are going to go against your own beliefs. So having a mindset where you have this ability to question yourself and question your own beliefs, and keeping a mind that is flexible, actually the cognitive flexibility is extremely important in life to live a good life, to live a quality life, and to actually better connect with other people. This brings me to the third point, which is risk taking. And here she says we allow our beliefs about what we are and are not capable of to determine what paths we pursue. We can be so terrified of taking risks that we don't even make the attempt to go after something we want and something that we may indeed be very good at, if we could just give ourselves the chance to try. And it's not here that she says that, but at another part I heard her say that your first no should never come from yourself. And actually in most of the cases I think that the first no comes from within our own minds, and it's very important to go against that voice that comes from within, because when you have such beliefs about yourself that you are incapable, that you will not be able to make it, and that stops you from even taking the risk of trying out something new, learning a new skill, or visiting a new place, or doing something that you have never done before, then it limits you in such a way that it doesn't allow you to get to do all these experiences that you would have done otherwise. And that's quite unfortunate, because it limits your ability to live life. It limits you as a person. So risk taking is a part of life, and failure as well. So by taking risk, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to excel at every single thing and become perfect and become too good in every single thing, and you are never going to fail. Instead, there is a high possibility that you are going to fail. But if the thing that you are taking a risk for is something that is close to your heart, in that case I think it is definitely worth it to take that risk and to maybe fail initially, but still keep trying and do that thing that you want to do. Never stop yourself from exploring different possibilities, different opportunities, and exploring life and exploring the world and every single thing that the world has to offer. So keep an open mind and keep taking risks. The fourth point here that I wanted to talk about is mental armor, and she has been at the receiving end of actually a lot of verbal abuse. Because of that, she had to build a certain psychological barrier so she could stop all of that abuse get to her and not take it personally, but instead just have her own protective space within herself, a shield that would actually protect her from taking all these words to heart. And according to her, we should all be able to have this kind of psychological barrier and not allow every single thing that other people say get to our hearts. At the same time, she says that it doesn't have to be a constant force in your mind that stops you from allowing anything get to your heart. There are also good things that you should allow to get to your heart anyway, and that's important to know when to use this mental armor. So she suggests that you should do exactly what actually you are afraid of doing, whether that is public speaking, whether that is going to interviews, anything like that. You should do exactly that in order for you to just get rid of that fear. She suggests that you should actually expose yourselves to small doses of this out of your comfort zone area, and by doing so progressively you are going to be able to become more comfortable in those situations. And here she shares 5 steps that you can use in order to become more comfortable with the fear that you are actually facing. So for example, for me, if I talk of public speaking, it is a big fear in many people. It is in me as well. The step 1 is always to expose yourself to as little a dose as is slightly out of your comfort zone. For example, if you are not too comfortable speaking in front of people, start with a very small group of people, or start with the mirror, for example. That's a great place to start as well. Just do that in front of the mirror. Look at yourself, look at what it is that you are doing well and what it is that you could improve on. The second step is to experience, which means that you just experience what it is that you are feeling. How is it feeling? What went well? What didn't go well? And in the third step, you are going to adjust yourself. What is it that you could have done better? So in the third step, you are really going to come back towards it, and this time you are going to adjust to do it better for the next time. And in step 4, you are going to take it slightly higher and overcome your fear. So for example, if it was a very small dose in the beginning, in the step 4, you are going to take it one step higher. And if it was in front of your mirror, the next time you are going to do it in front of your class or in front of a Toastmasters group, for example. The idea is to increase progressively the stress that you are putting on yourself, because this way you are going to build that muscle of strength. And it is just like building muscles in reality, because when you lift weights in the beginning, you are not going to be able to build much muscle if you are not putting extra weight on your body. And using that same concept here, you are going to expose yourself to more and more stress so that you can get better at that skill. And the final step is to repeat, to do this again and again and again until you feel comfortable, or you start feeling comfortable with it, and then continue anyway, because that's the only way you can overcome this fear and build this mental armor. And lastly, she talks about freedom, and here I will quote her: "The path I walked was difficult at times, and I faced many adversities along the way. But over the course of my career, I learned that I couldn't force others to respect me or see me as their equal. Once I came to accept that, I no longer allowed other people's opinion of me to determine my self-worth, my demeanor, or my performance. I achieved what I wanted to in the way that I wanted to do it, and then I let the results speak for themselves." Now, I find this to be extremely liberating, because once that you are completely free of what every single other person is thinking about you or how they are perceiving you for what you are doing, you can actually allow yourself to do what you want to do. And we all have this fear of other people, and it's extremely difficult to overcome as well. But once you arrive there, it is way better in life. So start taking little steps towards overcoming that fear of people, and not care a lot about what people say or what people think of you, because that is the most liberating thing, and that is going to allow you to live your life in such a way that is truly meaningful to you yourself and not to other people. And to get more comfortable on how to not care what people think of you, I will leave a link to my video with that same title, and you can watch that video and you can definitely work on that aspect as well. That's it for me for this video. I hope that these points are going to help you build your mental armor, build your mental strength, and become liberated and free, so that you can start taking your own decisions for yourself and live life that is meaningful to you, that feels meaningful to you, and only for yourself. So all the best. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Keep excelling. Bye.